What's cracking, everybody? What's cracking? Yeah, I'm here now for sure. No, I'm late. No, I'm late, but for sure, yeah, we got just getting some stuff together. Pretty much, just getting some things together. Ready for later on. You know, what I mean, gonna have the fights here at my pad, so I gotta have to get some stuff together. But yeah, for sure, man. Let's get right into it. Let's get right into it, man. Raider Kush, what's cracking, man? What's cracking, Gabe, bro? What's cracking? Yeah, we got Raider Kush, yes sir. We got Holly. What's up, Holly? We got Aunt Six up in here. Mike G, what's cracking, Mike G? We got Raider Goon up in here. What's cracking, man? How you doing? How you doing today on this Saturday, man? Alfredo, how's it going, man? How's it going? Cool kid, what's cracking, man? Oh yeah, man. We here, man. We just here. Saturday, man. Fight night. It's the fight. It's fight day, man. You know what I mean? We gonna be it's gay pro. Yeah, it's I don't know, man. We're gonna have some good fights tonight. I think the undercard, the prelims start at the early prelims start at 3. The actual prelims start at 5 o'clock. The main card will start at 7. The main card will get start off with Raul Rosas Jr. You know what I mean? And he's the 18-year-old that I've been telling you guys about. You know what I mean? That should be a great fight. To kick off the card. You know what I mean? And then there's gonna be a couple other good fights on here too, man. There's gonna be obviously the two main events. That those are just they'll speak for themselves, but they're also Raul Rosas Jr. is gonna be fighting Christian Rodriguez, who Raul Rosas is coming in with a 7-0 record. You know what I mean? 7-0 record. Coming in off of the Contender Series. Where you have to get a permission slip for his to actually even compete in the Contender Series. So he's gonna be fighting an 8-1 Christian Rodriguez, a fighter who's just coming into to the UFC. I think a fighter who probably was picked to fight Raul Rosas Jr. because he's he's an up and coming fighter. He's somebody that the UFC is trying to promote. So I mean, I think they just got somebody that maybe has a good record. I mean, but it is fighting, so anybody could touch anybody's chin at any time. You know what I mean? But as far as that fight, I think Raul Rosas is getting a favorable matchup. So I think he'll go in there. He'll use his skills. He'll take it to the ground. He'll ground and pound. I think you'll put him out. You'll probably put him out I'll say the second round. I'll say like the second round. I think that's going to be a good indicator for that kid too, man. Hopefully, the sky's the limit for him. He's an 18-year-old kid. He has a lot of confidence. Sometimes that could be the downfall. You know what I mean? It doesn't hurt to have confidence, of course, but sometimes you could have too much confidence. But yeah, man, we're gonna see what this kid's made out of. He's 18 years old, and he, first time on the actual main card. So last time he was on the prelims. This time, he's on the. This time he's on the main card. So he's moving up. He's moving up pretty quick too. He does say he wants to be a champion by 20. So I mean, it's quite a work, because that division is stacked. You know what I mean? That division is pretty one of the most stacked divisions in the UFC at 135. So I would say, you know what I mean. I would give him a little bit more time. You know what I mean. I applaud his confidence and all that stuff is just I would say maybe a little bit more time. But the way he's rising, you never know, man. I mean, case in point, the guy in the main event tonight. You know what I mean? He's same deal. You know what I mean? I know he kind of had the like the a clear path to the title, and Alex Pereira also because because of Izzy, their history. But I just think this kid is he's 18-year-old, the youngest kid that pretty much has ever fought on the main card, and I just think he'll they're pushing to get him promoted pretty much. So and then after that fight, we're gonna have another a great fight in Santiago Ponzinibbio. He's an Argentinian guy who's he's had his fair share of wins in the UFC. He's also had his fair shares of injuries. was a big prospect coming into the UFC. You know what I mean? A big prospect coming into this to the UFC. But I just think it was uh, I think it was just basically, too many injuries, suffered too many injuries, and it's just basically, I think it was just a detriment to him. But hopefully, he could get that all on track. He's always had the talent. He's fighting. He has a, in his mixed martial arts career, he's had a pretty much a 30-6 career record, bro. So I mean, he's pretty good. So you know what I mean. So he's pretty good, and he's also fighting, guys, that are actually been up there in rank. He's gotten himself up there in rank, but it's just, he's never really been able to get away from the injury bug. He's fighting Kevin Holland, man. Kevin Holland, another dude who's just not scared to fight anybody. He'll go in there, he'll fight anybody on short notice. A full camp. It don't really matter to him. He'll if you call him, pretty much he's gonna go out and fight. So I like his drive to fight, man. I mean, I think he's more of a Kevin Holland. To me, seems kind of like a gatekeeper type of guy. You know what I mean? He's a guy that he'll take every fight, but also, I mean, I think that could also be a detriment to him, just because he, like, I know that we always, say, these guys should be taking fights whenever they're, presented to them, but also you gotta take into consideration, man. These divisions are deep, man, and when you're trying to go in there, and yeah, when you're probably taking care of the lower half of the division, the unranked guys, you might get all the confidence in the world, and your rise could be pretty fast. But I think sometimes that could be a detriment to some of these fighters, just because it's like they get the all the confidence in the world, and then they get shot down because the level of competition is just that much higher. You know what I mean? Once you get into like the top five and shit like that, top 10 even. You know what I mean? It's just these dudes are some of the best fighters in the world, especially now that the UFC is getting more, getting bigger on the international scale. So it's like you're getting fighters from all around, man. It's like, so it's pretty tough, like when you're dominating, unranked guys, to when you're starting to fight the ranked guys. You know what I mean? You're starting to move your up the ranks, and the level of competition gets pretty steep pretty fast. You know what I mean? So I think that was probably I think that was probably just something that Kevin Holland should have took into consideration, maybe at the beginning of his career. I mean, there's still obviously time to for growth. I mean, yeah, I think he's still pretty young. He's still pretty young in the in in mixed martial arts. So I mean, he could probably turn it around. But I would say in that fight, man, I could see Santiago Ponzinibbio, going in there, and if he's healthy, man, I just see him going in there, and I just see his stand up being too much for Kevin Holland. Even though Kevin Holland is game, I just think his stand up will be too much, and I think that would be I think it'll be a close fight early, because being both guys will be fresh, and but Santiago Ponzinibbio, man, that dude's a beast, man. I mean, he's just he ain't scared of anybody, and he's just, I mean, as a fighter, I don't expect anybody to be, but it's just that dude goes in with the confidence that he could beat anybody, man. So I just think in his mind, I just think that in his mind, injuries is the only thing that's holding him back. So he's going in with all the confidence into the octagon. So I think he gets the win. I think it'll probably be a Kevin Holland has a great chin, so I think it'll probably go to decision, a 3 round. I'll probably go 3 rounds. I'm thinking it's gonna be a close fight, so I'm thinking maybe a split decision, man. Split decision to Santiago Ponzinibbio. I would say that. And then, I mean, after that, you move on to a young kid, man. A young kid who's on the rise, man. He fights, the thug jitsu style. You know what I mean? With you know what I mean. So it's like I don't know, man. This dude seems like a real a fast up and coming kid, man. Like he's real fast, with his hands, with the stand up game. He's well rounded. And his his record speaks for itself too. He's 16-3. He's on like a eight fight win streak, dog. So I mean, Adrian Yanez, man, Adrian Yanez is he's gonna be a dog. I think in this division, man. I think that's another it's another time where it's gonna be a tough division just because that's also again the 135 division. You know what I mean? To like that's like I said, man. This is one of the toughest divisions in the UFC. And Adrian Yanez, man, he's great on his feet, and he could take it to the ground. Great ground and pound. He has some wrestling background, so it's just I think he's like a more of a freestyle fighter. He fights the jitsu style, but dude's pace is crazy, man. That dude's pace, he's gonna pressure you. He's gonna he's gonna I think he's gonna make you break. But the one thing that I mean, I love the matchup tonight though, man, because Rob Font's a dog, man. Rob Font, that dude will go in there. I mean, he'll take that dude got the iron chin too, man. Like so, I think Rob Font, man, he's been in the UFC for a while. He's fought for the title. You know what I mean? He's had his fair shares of wins in the UFC as well. He's a great boxer, one of the better boxers in that division. I think he's gonna give Adrian early. It's gonna be it's gonna just see who can maintain the pace. I think who's gonna because Rob Font also has that pace to where he tries to break you. He just like he'll take one two. You can give a one two or three, but he's gonna keep coming forward, man. He's gonna keep coming forward and putting that pressure on you. So I just see a clash of styles, man, to where it's similar to where I think these dudes are gonna go up heads up. A fan friendly fight, which most of these fights are in this card. But I do see the younger dude being too fast. I think I just see him putting together too many punches in bunches, basically, and just putting the pressure on Font to where I think Font will get his off. I think Font will get his fair share off, but I just think Adrian Yanez at the end of the day will be. I think he'll just be too much for him, and I think again another. I think it'll be another exciting fight, but I just think that fight just because of the you know the chin that Rob Font has, and because I think Yanez is actually gonna win. So I think if it would be the other way around, I think if Rob Font is gonna get a win here, I think Rob Font gets maybe a finish early because Adrian Yanez it still hasn't been really tested. His chin hasn't been tested or anything like that. But you know what I mean. As far as if it goes to this or that, I just see Adrian Yanez being too much for him, and Adrian Yanez just has too fast of hands. I just think he has great boxing. He could take it to the ground if it does go there. So it's just I think Adrian Yanez will be a little too much at the end of the day, and I think he'll get. It won't be a split. It'll be a close fight, but I still think it'll be a unanimous decision to where I think Adrian Yanez pulls it off, man, and he starts claiming a stake in this weight division to where he can start getting top ten fighters every time, man. And once you get top 10 fighters, a couple of wins there, you're fighting for the title. So I mean, that's my my thing there. And then we get to the why we're here. You know what I mean? The co-main and the main event, man. Yeah, Calvin Gastelum is fighting on the prelims too. Yeah, man, that's gonna be also a great fight. That's he's fighting. I forgot who he's fighting, man. He's fighting somebody good too. Chris forgot his Chris Curtis or Curtis. Yeah, what's up, Anthony Estrada? What's cracking, man? And Fredo, yeah, man. So yeah, he's fighting for Chris Curtis. I think that's the main event on the prelims. That's gonna be a good fight too, man. Because I mean, these dudes like to stand up. I mean, that's the theme of the night. I think, man. These dudes are. I think the fight the fights are just gonna be exciting. I think these dudes are gonna want to put a show on for Miami, dog, because the first time back in 20 years. So I think that's gonna be a big thing. I mean, they're trying to make it a it's I think it's the second highest gate ever. You know what I mean? So that other than Vegas, you know what I mean? So it's like Miami, they showed up. So there could be there's talks already of maybe making Miami a a yearly thing, a yearly event to where they at least put one card together in Miami. So I just think that the fighters are going to put on a show, bro, just so they won't disappoint, and they could have it, come back to Miami continuously, man. So I just think that's gonna be that's one of the reasons why getting to this fight right now, the Jorge Masvidal, man, Jorge Gamebred Masvidal, Mr. 305, himself. He's coming in with he's has his double digit losses. I mean, he's been in the fight game for years, man. He's been in the I think so like nearly or at 20 years now, bro. And he's been, he's always fighting the best. He's fighting the best of the best. He hasn't, came out on top for a championship or anything like that. He's fought for the belt multiple times. He has I mean, recently he's had a three fight losing streak. To two of the top, contenders in the division, in Kamaru Usman, one of the best, one of the best that's ever done it at this division. And we got Kobe Chaos Covington, man. I mean, that fight was just, I think I think it's a bad matchup for George. I just think it's a bad matchup for George. I think Kobe. I mean, as much as I don't like Kobe, I just think it's a very bad matchup for George, just because one of the weaknesses for George is his wrestling. I know he's been, recently, bringing in guys, collegiate champions, to help him wrestle in the last couple camps and stuff like that. It's just that, wrestling. These dudes have been wrestling most of these dudes have been wrestling all their lives. So I mean, and to think that he's going to be on par with some of these guys is a lot to ask. And I just think that Kobe's been wrestling since he was a kid, and I just think it's a very bad matchup. And I think 9 out of 10 times, I think Kobe's winning that matchup. You know what I mean? So but that's the fight game, man. You know what I mean? It's about matchups, and that's where I would say, going with my breakdown, I think George Masvidal is going to want to keep it on the feet. Obviously, he's going to want to obviously keep it on the feet. That's his game. He's going to want to, inflict this violencia, like he says. You know what I mean? But he's going to want to do that. I just think that uh, the thing that I think that's going to maybe play into George's hands, and this is, I think, the only way he pulls off a win, is if Gilbert Burns falls into the trap of what Masvidal has been trying to set. You know what I mean? As in, the fans want to see a great fight. The fans want to see, like all this, and him being from the same, 45 minutes down the road, also from Miami, wanting to be, accepted, by his, he lives there. You know what I mean? So he wants to be accepted by the Miamians and stuff like that. So I just think if George has been, playing on his emotions and stuff like that this week, and maybe playing mind games to where, what I mean, he's been saying, Gilbert's just gonna, snuff his crotch and stuff like that. So I think that's where George could have a chance if it stays on the stand up. I think George can take him out. George has the skills, bro. George has he has one of the better boxing, in the whole UFC. You know what I mean? I think he also has he has very smart feints, bro, where he could set little traps. You know what I mean? To where, case in point, like Darren Till and stuff like that. With Ben Askren and stuff like that. I mean, he's had more knockouts than some of these guys have had fights. Like he said. But I think that's the only way he will have a chance, if Gilbert Burns goes out there and like just tries to fight with pride, pretty much, and just tries to beat Jorge at his own game. Like if he tries to stand up with Jorge and tries to do like a Chimaev type of fight, to where it's just a crowd friendly, and he's just out there to please the crowd and stuff like that, and thinking he's gonna knock him out. I just think that's where George has his chance, and I think George, if that happens, I think George finishes him. But if the fight, if you see the fight going on, if you see the fight from early and you see, Gilbert mixing it up, throwing feints, throwing his jab and feigning the takedown, then it's gonna be a long night for George, bro. It's gonna be a very long night for George to where because George is the type that he likes to throw punches from the bottom, and when you start doing that with Gilbert, you start you start throwing your hands, you start throwing your hands into like dangerous positions, into like where he could grab you into an arm bar. He could probably maybe get you into a triangle or arm triangle or something like that. So I just he's one of the best, if not one the best since Damian Maya in jiu-jitsu pretty much. He's a former, I think, four-time Brazilian jiu-jitsu champion. So I just see if he don't fall into the trap, and he goes with his game plan, and he goes in there and he mixes it up, takedowns and stand up and stuff like that. I think it could be a pretty easy night for Gilbert. But if he falls into the trap and he starts trying to give a fan friendly fight to where it's going to be a stand up for 3 rounds, I could see Masvidal pulling it off, bro. I could see Masvidal pulling it off, but because I could just see he's not Chimaev. He will, like, Chimaev could be up there, and like Chimaev was giving it to Burns too. You know what I mean? They were giving it to each other. Burns got the better end of some of it, but the thing is, Masvidal's boxing is on a different level. You know what I mean? Than Gilbert Burns. Gilbert Burns might be good, but he's just not on the level of Gilbert. He's not on the level of Masvidal in the boxing. In the boxing aspect. So I just think it goes there. And for the final prediction, I just think the Miami thing, the the trying to get a title shot, and him mentioning that like that's the reason why he's been fighting like this in his last couple fights, and hasn't really gone to like his jiu-jitsu. uh I could see Gilbert Burns falling into that trap, man. I could really see Gilbert Burns falling into that trap, and I'm a Masvidal fan, so I could be speaking out of fandom. But I could see it just because of this the everything around the fight. You know what I mean? The fight for Miami. He wants to be he's been saying that he's gonna leave and he's gonna be the BMF. You know what I mean? The baddest motherfucker. You know what I mean? So I just think in his mind he thinks he knows that he has to go out there and give a fan friendly fight, and keep it mostly on the stand up. And I think that could be a detriment to him, to where I think Masvidal will pull off the win tonight. But I mean, it's very iffy because but we'll be able to, I think we'll be able to know from the first round. So I think for that fight, I do have Masvidal pulling it off, but just because of the circumstances, bro. But that could change very fast because in MMA, you know what I mean, it's like it's the game plan, bro. The game plan is the most important, and if Gilbert Burns goes in there with the right game plan, he at this point in time he is the better fighter. He is the better fighter. Yeah, I think Gilbert Burns is the better fighter, but I just think if it all depends on if he goes up there into the octagon with the right game plan. That's what I'm gonna get. Might get choked trying to do too much too quickly. That's true too, man. Because if that's one thing that he that's one thing that he can that he does, man. Like I think if he tries a little too much early and tries to get Gilbert Burns out of there too early, and he's overwhelming him with punches, he will. I think he'll force Gilbert into maybe trying to take him to the guard, and I think Gilbert will open his eyes and maybe I think he can take an arm or something like that. But I don't know why, I just feel like in my mind that tonight, like with all the talk of Kobe getting the next championship fight, you know what I mean, and because with Leon Edwards and stuff like that, I just feel like one of these two fighters feels like I mean, both of these fighters, I feel like they both in their mind are thinking, I have to go in there and do something special. So I just think that they're gonna go in there and they're both gonna, they're gonna lay it all on the line, and they're both. I think they're just gonna go toe to toe, bro. I have a feeling they're gonna go toe to toe, and especially with the Miami thing, with the BMF thing, the King of Miami. I'm pretty sure, if Gilbert tries to take it to the ground and hold him there, he's gonna get fans booing him and stuff like that. So that's what I think he's gonna have in the back of his mind, and so that's why I think he will fight with pride, and I think that might be a downfall. And so I have Masvidal winning in that one, but it's gonna be very, very. But it'll be. We'll know soon if that game plan is even going to be relevant or not, man. Because if Gilbert Burns goes in there, like I said, if Burns goes in there and actually mixes it up, with takedowns and stand up, I think he could pull it off pretty easy. And now, man, the main event. Let's get to the main event, bro. We're gonna we got this is gonna be the fourth time they fight, man. I mean, a lot of people will be saying a lot of people saying that Alex got his number. You know what I mean? Alex got his number, bro. Alex Pereira's got his number. He's the boogeyman and stuff like that. Uh I would agree. I mean, I would agree just because I mean it is 3-0. I mean it's 3-0. I mean so numbers say, he has his number. But I just wouldn't call it so lopsided. Like some people think that it's just. I think a lot of people, not a lot. I would just say some. Some people are very. They think that he's gonna like. I think they think it's gonna be like it's a wash, bro. Like Alex Pereira could just knock him out whenever he wants. But in the last two fights, bro, Izzy's had him on skates. You know what I mean? Izzy's had him on skates twice, bro. I think what in kickboxing he had him. He got up to a standing 8 count to where the bell rang at right after, like 8 seconds after. You know what I mean? Bell rang. You know what I mean? And it saved them or whatever. But came back, knocked them out. So I mean, either way, I mean, it's no excuses, of course, because it's like. I mean that's why there's rounds, you know what I mean? And it's just that's the way fighting works. But I just feel like it's a very close matchup just because Izzy can get it. I think Izzy can hurt him, man. He showed that he's able to hurt this guy, and if he hurts him, in the middle of a round, he could probably get it done. I have a feeling that you know watching Izzy, in just this training camp and all that stuff, and I know it's all it could all be for the camera. This dude doesn't know how to play to the camera and stuff like that, but I just feel like Izzy is focused, man. He ain't really trying to talk too much. He ain't trying to do that too much. But I mean, that is all to get yourself hyped up to be like, because you do have three losses to this guy, and two of them by one of them by KO, one of them by TKO. So I just, whoo, man, this is gonna be a tough matchup. I could see Izzy coming out like a bat out of hell, man, and trying to get Alex out of there early, because I feel like he thinks he could probably hurt Alex early. To when it gets older, I think he feels like he loses a little bit of sting on his punches, and that's where it gets more dangerous, because when you're standing in the pocket with Alex, you know what I mean. Any punch can just pretty much turn out the lights. You know what I mean. So dude's fucking hands are like lunch pails and shit. You know what I mean. So it's like uh Alex Pereira has that different type of power, so I could see Adesanya going out there like a bat out of hell, trying to get him out there early. You know what I mean? In previous fights, he's hurt him early, and I think he has that in the back of his mind, to where I think he will go out there and try to end it early. But I think he also he will try to mix up little bit more a little bit more ground. I think he'll try to maybe take it to the ground a little bit more, just because of the success he had in that third round in the last fight. I think that he got away from it in the fourth and fifth round, because I think he thought he might have been, ahead, and I think he thought, he was gonna just get the easier win, because he kind of won that whole fight except for like maybe the second round. The second round he did It was but I think that was more of an unexpected thing to where I mean he didn't think Alex Pereira had a shot in hell to like maybe go for a shot and take him down. But you seen how the the tables turned in the third round. Fourth round was a little bit more closer, but Adesanya got the best of it. But in the fifth round, I mean, you seen it, bro. Like all of that. But the thing with Alex Pereira, he has the equalizer in each hand, bro. He has that equalizing, that equalizing weapon in each hand, bro. It's like he can knock you out with each hand. He has the power to knock out pretty much probably heavyweights. He's in there, sparring with light heavyweights and heavyweights and stuff like that. So I think that's the risk of that Izzy has. You know what I mean? Like I know that you in the last fight, Izzy even seemed maybe the little bit more fresher of the two in the fifth round. It's just that the power just doesn't go away when Alex Pereira is tired or anything like that, man. He just that dude still has that just thudding power that to like knock dudes out, bro. Like, and it's just if Izzy goes in there, and I think Izzy's chance to win this fight is to go in there and get him out early. Go in there and get him out early, first or second round. But if he's in there and Izzy can't get him out in the first or second round, and he can't touch him up like the way he wants to in the first or second round, I could actually see being like a similar type of fight to the last fight, man. I could see it being a similar type of fight to where it's going to be a competitive fight, first couple rounds. But if Izzy can't get him out of there early, I just feel Alex Pereira will save. See, that's the thing too. Like, because if he saves some for the gas tank for the end, that could be his downfall as well too, bro. Because he could lose too many rounds early, and then if he doesn't get that, that punch, that knockout punch, he could lose a decision very easily. So, man, bro, I just see this is a tough one to call, bro. It's just because even though it's 3-0, I just, man, I've been thinking about this one all week, and I still, like, it's. I mean, the day's here, and I still can't, pick between the two. Man, I just because when like the last fight when the last I think the last pay per view was Kamaru Usman versus Leon Edwards, and you seen Teddy Atlas, you know what I mean? Because I've mentioned this before. When a guy becomes a champion, when a guy takes a bout from that dude, you know what I mean, and he becomes champion, like and it's kind of proven history, man. It's like when they do that, man, they go into the next time they go into the octagon ring or whatever, man, they go in, just not more confident. I mean, obviously more confident because they pulled off the win, but they go in there just better. You know what I mean? It's just that their skills get better. Their skills aren't second guessed in the back of your mind as much. You know what I mean? You just have more. You're able to turn that punch a little bit more faster. You're able. It's just when you become champion, Teddy Atlas put it the best, man. You just become 30% better. And if uh if Alex Pereira, bro, comes anywhere near 30% better, bro, I Izzy is in for a rude awakening, bro. If that's true, like if that theory is true, but if Izzy is on his grind, like I've seen him, dog. Like I've seen him in the last couple weeks. I mean, I've seen him, this fight week. I see him focused. I see him, I could see him going out there and hurting him early, bro. And it all, I think it just all depends on if he could get it, during the middle of a round, or uses ground and take him to the ground. Use your ground and pound a little bit more, and make it a little bit easier on yourself because I mean, You just gotta nullify that dude's power as much as you can, bro, and you just can't throw as much power off laying off of your back. You know what I mean? When the fight's on the ground, so it would be smart for Izzy to use some of that, implicate some of that in his game as well. But if I'm just saying, bro, like if um Alex Pereira goes in there with more confidence and just 30% better or 20% better than last time, I just feel like I think damn dog. I'm gonna go with the prediction because I just can't go with like fuck, bro. I can't pinpoint the prediction. If it ends in the first or second round, it's gonna be I think Izzy. Even though for contrary belief, I know people think that Alex Pereira might get tired at the end because he carries a lot of weight. I just feel like I was saying earlier, his power carries through every round through a fight. So if it gets later, I think he touches Izzy, bro. I think he touches Izzy, and when Izzy's a little bit more fatigued, it's easier to touch that chin, and when you're tired, your chin gets a little bit testy too. So I think if it ends early, I think it's Adesanya for sure. Adesanya, and the sounds of it, the way he's talking, I think he's gonna go in there. But that all could be mind games as well. You know what I mean? Like what I was talking earlier, it could all be mind games, and trying to say that you're gonna go out there like a bat out of hell, which he has been. Israel has been saying that he's gonna go out there and one round and he's out of there. So but I do feel that is his best, option to do it though. So if it is mind games, like I mean, don't just use it as a game, bro. You have to actually implicate it because I think that's your best chance of winning. So in the main event, that would be probably more on my breakdown. If you had to point me, if you had me in a corner and you told me, if you had me in a corner and you told me you have to pick a guy, I'm picking the guy that's 3-0, dog. I have to pick the guy that's 3-0. It's just because, like, as good as Israel Adesanya's been in the UFC and stuff like that, it's just that this guy, sometimes dudes just have your number. And, like, like I said earlier, I mean, this is a little closer than other cases just because, Izzy has been able to hurt him. Never able to take him out, but has been able to hurt him. So it's a little closer on that front, but I just think 3-0 speaks a lot, man. 3-0 speaks a lot, but I think we're just gonna see some great fucking fights tonight, man. Great fights tonight. I think there's gonna be fireworks in every fight. Every fight's gonna have some great moments. Every fight I think is gonna be you know a barn burner. I mean, I think the first fight might be the first fight of the card. The main card might be the fight that you might like if it's gonna go down to the ground. I think that's probably gonna be the fight that's mostly probably gonna be grappling, just because that's Raul Rosa's game. He's kind of like they say the Mexican American Khabib and shit. So it's like he likes to take the fight to the ground by any means necessary. So if anything, you'll probably see that fight. But that fight's also intriguing because the kid's also 18 years old, and he's trying to move himself up the rankings. But I mean, those would probably be my predictions, bro. I got, in the first fight I got Raul Rosas. The second fight I got Ponzinibbio. You know, third fight I'll have Adrian. I mean, I think Adrian Yanez pulls it off. Co-main, man, as close as I think it's gonna be. I think just because of the situations and the situations and the spot that these guys are in to try to create a great fight to stake your claim at the the next fight for Edwards. I think that's gonna play into Masvidal's hands to where Gilbert will try to keep it on the feet, and I think I got Masvidal on that one. And then in the main event, I I just think it's early. I would have Izzy. Late, I have late I have Pereira. But if you put me up against the wall and a gun to my head, man, I'm taking Pereira just because of the history. 3-0. And I think that's the only reason I would probably take Pereira, because just because of the history. I mean, and that's a big a big reason, of course. 3-0, a knockdown and a TKO. But yeah, man, those are pretty much my breakdowns, my predictions. But I'm gonna open up the panel for a little bit, man, just to see if anybody wants to pop up for a little bit. Just maybe give their insights, or give their breakdowns or stuff like that. So let me uh let me get this real quick. See if I guess copy. Yeah, man. But either way, man, I just see this card being a great card, just because of the styles of the fighters, bro. The styles of the fighters. I just they knew what they were doing when they put the fights together, and that's one thing I do give the UFC all the time. The props on the matchmaking is on point. They will give you the matches that you want to see. You know what I mean? I mean, unless it's like they can't come to terms, on negotiations and stuff like that, because I know a lot of people are kind of still upset of we're not going to get the John Jones versus Francis Ngannou. But you know what I mean, in most cases, you're getting you're getting most likely you're getting all the fights you want. You know what I mean? You're gonna get the fights that need to happen. You know what I mean? So it's like I mean, shit. Let me put this shit in the chat. Putting it in the chat. Putting it in the chat. There it is, guys. Raf, Kush, any guys want to just come up. Give your guys' predictions or something like that. Hey, man, this is very true, bro. I mean, this right here. Oh man, bro. Like, I hate to agree with some of the dudes that are like on that do this MMA hour and stuff like that, to where, like, they're saying, it's hurting Francis. You know what I mean? It's like it's not beneficial to him uh to do what he did. I know I wouldn't say he doesn't deserve the money that he was asking for, the 10 million or whatever. I mean, I know that would have made him the highest paid UFC fighter. But what he's doing right now is like, I think it's just, it's kind of he's kind of a detriment to his career, bro. Just because you know, I think if he would have scheduled a boxing event as soon as he's been out of. First of all, he's been out of combat sports in general since he's fought Cyril Gahn, and that's over a year ago. And then you had the whole back and forward with the UFC and him, and the negotiations didn't come to fruition. So he had to leave because he wanted to pursue boxing career. But I mean, there was talks of him in U6. There was talks of him and of him and Tyson Fury. But I just think that if like, if you just keep you know not actually making the fight, or not doing this and stuff like that, and time just keeps going by, bro. You haven't done anything in boxing to where people are going to like it was a thing to hit. It would have been a thing to hit it on right away, because you were fresh in people's mind. You were all over the internet, and with this public feud with Dana and the UFC and stuff like that. That was the perfect time to make your mark. You know what I mean? That was the perfect time to go go to a boxing event and say, you know what I mean, let's make this happen, you know what I mean, and get your money that you were asking for. But now you're just like your stars kind of dwindling a little bit, a little bit. I mean, he's still a big star. I mean, he's he was a former UFC champion. Nobody ever took his bout pretty much. So uh it started, but if you sit too long, yeah, like this, like Adam Smith, man, exactly. If you sit too long, you're just gonna, you're not gonna allow yourself your star power to grow the way it should be. You know what I mean? In order for your star power to grow, you got to be out there, bro. I mean, he's a very reserved, quiet guy as it is anyway. He doesn't make many appearances as it is anyway. So like it's that's like double like double like a double whammy, bro. Like you ain't much of a guy that goes out there and gives too many interviews, other than these last couple months, of course, but because I think that was just because of the whole feud with the UFC. But if you put it off, man, your star keeps dwindling, your cups keep dwindling, and then he's gonna get uh, uh, a somewhat fight, you know what I mean? Or he's gonna get a guy that he's gonna probably get it too late, and then he's gonna get a guy that he's getting him off his loss now, you know what I mean? Instead of getting him when he's at his peak, and you can make a play and try to get that fight done, and you know what I mean, and it's big money all over the board. I mean, because if you go if you make the matchup with him and Tyson Fury, bro, he's gonna make that money. You know what I mean? He's gonna make that money, but you just can't put it off too long, because if you put it off too long, is these promoters and all that stuff are gonna make you want to take another fight before, and all this stuff. So it's just like, because it's actually like a lose lose for the boxer, bro. Because like uh you really can't, you win. You were supposed to beat the guy, right? You were supposed to beat the guy. You're the champion, right? You're the champion of all. You're like supposedly one of the greatest of all time in boxing. You know what I mean? So in the heavyweight division. So like if you win, you were supposed to, right? That you don't get no props, no nothing. But if you lose, you know what I mean? You're like, you're gonna get laughed at. You're gonna say you got beat by the whole MMA community is gonna could be coming after you and saying, that you lost to, a guy that is not even fighting in the UFC anymore and stuff like that. So I think it's a lose lose, and for him it's just a detriment for letting this keep going, because he had more leverage when it was at the beginning, when his star was big, when the talk was about him. Because now, yeah, you might have a lose lose situation, but the win in that in that situation is that his star is big. You're the biggest, you're one of the biggest names in boxing, so it's a massive event. Both of you guys are getting paid handsomely. You know what I mean? So it's like, uh, it's just you and that another thing right there too, man. He's 36 years old already. He isn't a young dude. He doesn't have time to be waiting on the sidelines to be to be getting to negotiating. And if it's not his what his number ideal what his ideal number is, he can't be pushing off fights, bro, because it's just gonna he's already starting at a disadvantage. You know what I mean? Later on in his career, he's trying to get into he's trying to get into boxing, where some of these guys have been boxing for their whole life. So he's already has a disadvantage there, his age, and you know what I mean. It's just, I mean, the one thing he does got going for him, and that's what I'm talking about. It's gonna keep going down if you don't cash in. Is his name? His name and likeness, bro. Like I'm just as big as you are, bro. Like guys come up, the ranks. Other guys be coming up the ranks, and there's gonna be some big boxing events coming up and stuff like that. So your name gets kind of, just falls by the wayside, bro. So it's like he needs to do something fast. He needs to have something scheduled fast, because I think Francis is just he's doing a disservice to his career right now, bro. And he had a lot of promise. You know what I mean? He has a lot of promise in the UFC and stuff like that. I think he was just coming into his own, even though he's older. I just feel like he's doing himself a disservice. But yeah, man, shit, we almost an hour up in here. Shit, I'm getting ready to I was gonna go a little bit longer, but you know what I mean. It's we've been an hour. I've given my given the predictions, given the breakdowns, but for sure we're gonna be here after the fights. We're gonna be after the fights and see how these breakdowns and these predictions went. See if we were on point or if we were just totally off, and and just fights went different ways. But oh, what up, Cash Lord? Cash Lord up in the building. Yes, sir. Let me see. It's crazy. The two guys on the cover of the UFC 3 video game are in the main events today. Izzy and yeah, it is. Right? They are. They were. I remember them when they were doing the photo shoot together too and shit like that because they were about to fight or they were about to do a like a I forgot who was fighting that weekend or something like that. But yeah, I remember when they shot the promo and shit for that fucking game. But yeah, man, I just after the fight, we're gonna we're gonna do the post fights. You know what I mean? See if Izzy could get it done. See if there's any retirements. I mean Jorge's on the little older side, so see if Jorge can't pull it off. See if he calls it quits. So there's a lot of storylines, man. This evening, man, in this fight card, bro. But I one thing I can tell you guys won't be disappointed if you guys tune in, bro. Like I think this fight's gonna be one of the better cards of the year, just because of the styles of the fights and just the names of the fighters. You know the it's a hometown for some of these fighters, so I think they're gonna try to put on a show. And it's just it's just everything a fight fan I think can dream of, bro. Like this fight card is I've been looking forward to this fight card for a while now, and it's it's here now. You know what I mean? So yeah, man. I hope you guys get you guys some grub, get you guys some some drink if that's what you guys do, man. Get some drink, get some smoke. You know what I mean? Sit back, sit back, enjoy UFC 287, dog, and I can guarantee you guys are gonna watch some great fights. And when it's all said and done, you guys come back over here, man, to this channel right here, Raider Gate 420 for sure, bro. And yeah, man, we're gonna be talking about it a little bit more and just to see and just to talk shit for the nation, man. We'll chop it up, talk about everything that happened, and yeah, for sure, man. You guys have a great rest of your Saturday, and for sure, man. You guys enjoy the fights, and yeah, stay tuned, man. We'll be here after the fights, so you guys stay up, man.